Hi, and welcome back to the Uncensored Journey podcast, where we say whatever the fuck we want because it's our journey, like it or not. I am Cindy, and with me, as always, is Gabriella. Hi, Gabriella.
Hi, Cindy.
Um, it's coming up on the new year. It is the new year. We are talking about resolutions today. What do you think about New Year's resolutions?
Well, that's funny you should ask. I'm very passionate about it because I was talking about it with my mom today, and I was like, I'm so excited to record this episode because I think the way that it's marketed to the masses and in general is wrong. And I'm saying that because winter, or January, February, March, are traditionally times when we get to slow down, when we get to restore, recharge, and really take stock of the astrological year, right? The astrological year starts in April. And I think we're going to have an astrology guest later, in a few episodes. And I think that it makes sense to pair the beginning of a new year with major resolutions or just planting seeds in general. And also, just that the term resolution makes me kind of uneasy because I think change should be a way of life and not something that we do just once a year. And it should be a shift in the way we carry ourselves to better ourselves and to achieve our goals. So yeah, it's a topic very close to my heart. What about you? What comes up for you when we say New Year's resolutions?
I have a little bit of a different take on it, but I also think setting a New Year's resolution is kind of setting me up for failure because I'll feel this, really strong, like wanting to make sure that it's getting done. And sometimes I set these really high expectations for myself and they're just unrealistic. But with that thought, I tend to use my birthday as my new year. So that's when I kind of do my goal setting and my and setting my intentions for the year because that is my new year, right? Like it's my full one trip around the sun. And so I never really looked at December as a time to or January as a time to start making new intentions or making new expectations of myself. But I do have one thing that I do. I usually host a thing with my girlfriends every year where we do blessing jars. And so every year we collect blessings, things that have happened through us throughout the year, and we reread them. And at the end of the year, so on New Year's Eve. And so we could see all the amazing things that have happened to us over the year and remind us that amazing things happen and amazing things they're always around us, and it's not always a negative thing because sometimes we could look back at the end of the year and only remember the bad things that happened, but this is a good way to remember the good things that happen. So it's kind of a gentle way to, like, low expectation kind of thing. So I love doing that with people and hearing, and you get to hear all the amazing things that have happened to your friends and your loved ones throughout the year. It's great. But like I said, my birthday I use as my new year. And that's when I set all my goals. But I I I think that setting setting New Year's resolutions at the new year is, like I had said, it's like there's like unrealistic expectations, right? Like they often fail because they're overly ambitious, and a lot of times they're unrealistic. And then on the opposite of that, like setting goals that are like not achieve or that are too simple, you're like, oh, well, that's easy, and just kind of get it done. But it's like setting the unachievable goals and setting them with an unrealistic time frame, right? So you're like, oh, by 2025 I must have these things done, and then you get to the end of 2024 and you're like, well, shit, I didn't get any of this stuff done. And it might not be because I wasn't working on those things, but there's all these other factors. So, the unrealistic expectations of it all, but also like I find too, like New Year's resolutions tend to be really vague. Like, oh, I want to start a new business in this next year. Is like, well, okay, but like, what are the steps you're going to take to start that business? Or like a big one for me has always been like, I want to lose weight. Okay, well, what are the steps? You never think about the steps and how you're going to do it, or what you can how you're going to achieve these goals. It's just like this ambiguous, like thrown out there, like lose weight or start a business, be more productive. What does that mean? Be specific. Like there's no specificity in it. um and then, there's also like the whole like all or nothing mentality, right? Like
Mhm.
if I don't start a business and start making money and start doing this and start doing that, then I have failed. And or as my mom would be like, and you will die, right? Like as I mentioned in other podcasts, everything ends in death. So like there's always going to be setbacks, and there's always going to be things that happen and obstacles that you have to overcome, and sometimes it's just not meant to happen at that time, right? And so that's just a couple of things that I have noticed in um setting resolutions and then failing at resolutions, because it's it's unrealistic. I think it's unrealistic. So how about you? Have you noticed anything?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think, the conspiracy side of me, part of me thinks is that it's just a mass like marketing plot against the masses and against people that are susceptible to the programming that's being pushed. It's I almost feel like it's a ploy to make sure that you set resolutions, and then, like you said, they're not specific enough, they're unrealistic, they're ridiculous. You fail, and then you get discouraged, and then you're back where you started, possibly worse. And then when you originally started, and it's just this vicious cycle of attempting to change and then not changing because the quite frankly the resolution is not structured as a SMART goal, and it's unrealistic, it's too demanding, it's too this. And I would much rather like have people go through a slower process of releasing all like negative emotions and baggage, and then taking a look at, hey, I want to elevate this area of life. Okay, what does that look like? And then creating a SMART goal, and then taking action from there, right? Like really like thinking through everything that we're doing for the purpose of achieving that goal, and at the same time, like, you know, going through a process that will allow for that transformation to happen, not just, jumping ahead, doing just one step and expecting results and expecting to be successful. So yeah, I do feel like New Year's resolutions are kind of like a smokescreen, and they don't really have any substance, right? Like personal development and transformation is a way of life, and you should be setting goals and SMART goals throughout the year. It shouldn't just happen in January, right? Like, let's say I want to be in a fitness competition. I'm not going to be able to transform in 2 months, right? That is a lifestyle. It's a way of living. It's a choice every day. And I am at cause in everything that I create. So yeah, I think I'll take SMART goals any day over New Year resolutions. And I encourage our community to follow the same way of thinking and living.
Same. I think like I kind of put it this way is like resolutions, they focus on like the surface level behaviors, and we never kind of dig deep to find out why we keep failing at not being able to do that. Like you had mentioned, it's every single day working on yourself and changing those behaviors over time. It's not just going to be like, well, today I'm going to lose 10 pounds. It's going to be like, no, or today I'm going to join a fitness competition. No, well, you have had to, I'm a power lifter, so you have to train for a while before you can lift enough weight so that you can then compete at doing that. So same with like a fitness competition, right? Well, I guess powerlifting is kind of a fitness competition, but like you have to, there's all these steps like for fitness competitions. I'm guessing like you're talking about like the
Like a
bikini
physique. Yeah, like a
yeah, like
physique
that takes time.
competition.
There's
Yeah.
like there's a
Yeah.
there's a certain time that you have to eat in certain foods. There's a certain like there's just it's just there's all these different little things that you have to change in your life to make these big things happen. And so maybe
Mhm.
that's like the smart goals that you're setting, right? Is like um I'm going to start eating this many calories and this, and out of these calories, this is what's my protein, this is what's my this is what's my that. Maybe it starts as simple as finding a coach, right? Somebody who can like
Right.
give you the meal plan, set you up for what you need, give you the workouts that you need to then get into the shape that you need to be in to then do that thing. And realistically, you're not going to be competing in that year. I have
That's
friends that
right.
compete in
Yeah.
those things, and like it takes a year just to prepare to get to the point where you can think about competing. So,
Yeah.
um, you're totally right in that. You know, and back to my sport, the powerlifting, like it's diet and exercise and all the little things that you have to do. That's not just powerlifting. That's you have to do every single day. Like I got to go to the gym every single day and work on all the accessory work so that and then I can start lifting things that are heavy. And then so it's not just immediate. And I think that's what we think about. A lot of people think about New Year's resolutions is it needs to be immediate instead of focusing on the small things you need to do to get there. Um, and that's like then one of the things that I think too is like the lack of planning, right? People aren't prepared for the resolutions that they're set up. So you're just kind of setting yourself up to fail. Like, okay, I want to do this fitness competition, but have I found a coach? Have I found an eating plan? Have I found a workout routine? Have I found exercises that's going to target the specific areas that I have to showcase? That kind of stuff. So it's, and then, you know, like for me, all of that kind of starts getting me overwhelmed and frustrated and like anxiety about it because like I didn't plan accordingly. And then also like because I'm sorry, now I'm rambling, but I'm on a soapbox now. So, but you know, also like you tell people like, oh, I'm just going to keep using this fitness competition as an example. You tell people, oh, I'm going to do this fitness competition. And now people are like asking you about it. So now there's all these external pressures. It's like, shit, I haven't even started. I haven't found a coach. I haven't done this eating plan. I haven't done anything. I'm still eating donuts every day. Like there's just so many things that and they're asking me every single day, and their motivation behind asking is not vindictive, but now you're starting to feel less about yourself because you're like, crap, I said I was going to do this and now I haven't done it. Like what am I going to do? So it's the external pressures of getting resolutions done is, especially if you say them out loud. So it's just that's kind of where I'm at with that part too, is there's just so many things wrong with these resolutions, so much pressure, so much pressure.
Yeah, a lot of unrealistic pressure, and absolutely your community and your friends, family play a big part in how successful you are with a SMART goal. Because I choose not to set resolutions. I choose to set intentions, or SMART goals. So, yeah. And again, like having a supportive environment is so vital to your success.
I agree. I agree. Do you think that a lot of times, I'm gonna pass off the SMART goals and or sorry, pass off the resolutions to get back to this like SMART goals and intentions. And because I think that sometimes too what happens is we make too many resolutions, like we're like, oh, it's beginning of the year, so let me write this laundry list of shit that I want to change in my life, and then it's just that again unrealistic. But do you think that like people have a hard time um like with self-compassion or like failing to adjust because like life keeps happening, right? So
Mhm.
if you make the if you set the intention to I'm keep gonna with this fitness competition, you make this set this intention to do a fitness competition, and then you know you like break your foot, like how you need to start adjusting. Like that doesn't mean you can't still go to the gym, but your gym's going to look different, and now realistically you're going to have to the mindset of like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to compete next year. It might have to be, a year and a half from now or whatever the case may be. Do you think that plays a factor, not being able to adjust, and also like the lack of compassion, self-compassion, like in self, that we have for ourselves, and that hinders, it could hinder the resilience, that we need to like set back. Sorry, the resilience we need to bounce back from setbacks.
Mhm.
Tongue twister.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good point. And um, yeah, one of my clients loves to use this metaphor, and I really like it. It's, life is full of ebbs and flows, right? And so sometimes you're going to have a lot more traction with something, and sometimes you are not going to have any traction, and that's okay. And that's where the rest and recovery and rethinking and reevaluating comes in. And yeah, I think that is incredibly important. And again, right, like it's a way of being, it's a lifestyle, it's a choice. Everything that the way I think about, goals and the reason for setting those goals are ultimately to elevate me and the people in my life, and to elevate my clients. And if that mindset is not there, then it's tough to get the results that you want, right? Or to make the changes that you want. And failure is not a bad thing. It's just feedback. That's what I keep saying. And that's feedback to do something in a different way, right? I think there's a unhealthy and unrealistic aversion to failure within our society right now. And I think it's a little silly, because if you look at all the successful people and all the, amazing entrepreneurs and inventors, they've had thousands of failed businesses or failed inventions. And then, the millionth one, or the, after taking, I don't know, 2000 steps, right? The 2001 step, that's when they had success. So again, being compassionate is it's so fundamental to our development, I think, as a species.
I agree. What do you think about motivation? Like something that's like you're throwing this like resolution out there that's or whatever this list item to-do list for the year, right? This list on your to-do list, and um but you're not super connected to it. It's just like something you think you have to get done, and
Mhm.
then but you lack the motivation because it's something you really don't want to do, and then it's not going to sustain you for long-term success. Like what do you what do you think, how do you think motivation plays into that as well?
Oh, I think it's huge because I mean, you also have to look at, yeah, I keep going back to values and programming and like how everything that we develop as values and beliefs when we're young, up to the age of 7, sets up the way we interact with the world. And so, I have this other client that their values and beliefs as it relates to physical health are, it's not a priority. It's not important. It was never highlighted in his household. And so he's not going to be motivated, and he's not going to be naturally motivated for that, for the sole purpose that in his outdated programming, that it was not a priority. Like, we're currently working on career, and so we're focusing on that. And the solution to that is to get to the bottom of, releasing that old programming, releasing the negative beliefs around physical health, and then setting up new programming and new ways of being that are supportive to what he wants to achieve in that other area of life. So I think that's a complex question, and it has some pretty easy concepts that people could walk through if they take the time to go through it, and then do the work, release it. Like, everything in personal development and when it comes to achieving things and being motivated is about doing the work, right? Like, again, choice. It's
I love choices.
Yeah. What about you? What's your view on motivation, on surface level resolutions?
Well, I think that like I said, it's people tend to write like this like to-do list for the year, right? And it's not deeply connected to any personal value, any kind of personal value that you might have, and which makes it lack like the drive you need for like I said, long-term success. But I think it also like it decreases your chance of being successful because you're not motivated to do it. Like I know I keep harping on Andy Frisella and 75 hard, but it changed my life, right? Because I had this checklist of things to do every single day, and I was motivated to get it done because my goal is to make myself better physically and mentally, and this was one way to do it. And I knew that it was one way to do it. So I was motivated to do it every single day, and I was able to keep that momentum even after the challenge or the program was done, so that I can that I can continue to grow in my life. But like I started in the middle of the year. It wasn't a resolution to do. It was just like, I need to make my life better. Let's start today. And also like allowing for the flexibility, like stuff happens. 4 days into that 4 days into 75 hard, I hurt my back really bad deadlifting at the gym, and I was barely moving. It would take me 5 minutes to stand up. It was a lot. It was bad, but I just kept going. I knew that if I just did things a little bit slower and adjusted, and just just kept my mindset at where it needed to be, and just also like just allow for the flexibility of the changes that I needed to make, and not be so hard on myself about like, well, shit, now I can't deadlift, now I can't, but I can't squat, I can't do this, but instead focus on the things that I was able to do to eventually reach my goals, right? So I think mindset has a lot it contributes so much to your success or your failure, is like what you're telling yourself in on a daily basis, and what you're telling yourself on how you can grow and contribute to this, like to a more positive approach to getting your goals done. So yeah.
That's fantastic. And I want to acknowledge you for that. That's so powerful. Talking about making sure that you're adjusting, right? And you're having compassion for yourself, and you're not getting down on yourself. You're not, no negative self-talk, right? It's all about listening to your inner wisdom. And your example was perfect. It's exactly what people should be aspiring to do when, you know, life throws you some lemons.
Yep, exactly. I agree. I agree. I didn't say it to be boastful. I said it to be like, it was a setback and I had two choices, right? I could be like, oh, well, I guess I can't do this anymore. Or I could be, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just going to continue on. I made a commitment to myself that I'm going to continue doing this stuff. And also, if you don't finish a day on there's an app and then there's a picture at the picture of Andy Frisella with like a disapproving look. And I was like, I don't want to get that picture. Like it was just something in my brain, but mostly I didn't want to disappoint myself in like setting these goals. And, I was on a roll too, like 4 days in, I was doing everything I was supposed to do. And then, you know, it comes down to choices. I could have chosen to, just let it all go and just start when I was better, or I could choose to just keep moving and adjust to how I needed to get stuff done. And, not gonna lie, my walks, every day were a little slower and my gym looked a lot different for a while, but, yeah, it was, it got done. So thank you for acknowledging that. It's a crazy, crazy time, but glad it's over. But anyways, so what do we think? We're both in agreement to boo to the New Year's resolution.
Yes, boo.
And also I want go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. Now, intentions and smart goals only.
I agree. And I also want to acknowledge the fact that we both think that it's a myth, like these resolutions are a myth, right? Like it's not a good thing, but we also have different viewpoints coming from it, coming like viewing it in a different way of how to set intentions and goals, but there's also that common thread. So like we can agree on the basics and we both have our own ways of doing things. So I think that's really honorable and amazing. So, and I appreciate your explanation of setting intentions in the spring and not in the winter. That was amazing. So thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess that wraps up our latest episode. We are excited to be bringing more and more content to you as the year progresses. And you know, let us know how your journeys are going. Comment and subscribe and let us know what your thoughts are on resolutions. And if you're still making some, you don't, or if you're not, and why you're not, or why you are. Everybody's journey is valid and everybody's journey is uncensored. So we'll see you next time.